Good morning, students. I am so sorry I'm not here. My daughter is at home sick, but I wanted to go through a couple problems on the test review with you just to make sure that you're ready. And I will be here today for Wildcat Hour Shift A, so please feel free to come in and get some help during Shift A if you feel like you need some more help before the test. All right, the first problem I really want to go over is number 4. A lot of people missed this problem on the quiz, so I want to make sure that we're good with it. Basically, this equation has these fractions in it, and it'd be really nice if those fractions weren't there. So look at the denominator of those fractions, 5 and 9, and basically you multiply those together to get 45. So we are going to multiply everything in here by 45. Every single term has to get multiplied by 45. So you may need to grab a calculator. The first one, 45 times 1/5 is 9, so that becomes 9x. 45 times 4 is 180. To do 45 times 8/9 x, honestly, in your calculator, just do 45 times 8 divided by 9, and you get 40. So that's 40x. And then minus 7 times 45 is 315. Once you do that to get rid of the fractions, then I think you'll have a lot easier time solving this equation. You just subtract 9x on both sides, and then add 315 to both sides, and finish solving it the way you always would. And remember, there's answer keys in the front of the room, so you can check your work. The next one, I think that number 7 is kind of similar, but if you wanted to multiply everything by 100, basically move all the decimal points 2 places, you could do that, but honestly, I would just keep the decimals and deal with it. Subtract by 6.98, and then to undo divided by 2.31, you would multiply by 2.31. So just keep that in mind for number 7. The next one we should go through, remember with percents that the word of means multiply, and the word and means equals. And check out my answer key to see how I set up each of those problems if you're struggling with 8 through 10. Okay, number 11 is the next one I really want to go through with you. Find a ratio that compares the relative sizes of the quantities 13,000 pounds to 3 tons. The A is the distractor. You really want both of these things to be the same units. So take the bigger one, 3 tons, and we're going to change that 3 tons into pounds. So I put note, 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. So if 1 ton is 2,000 pounds, 3 times 2,000 is 6,000. So 3 tons is 6,000 pounds. So then the ratio is 13,000 pounds to 6,000 pounds. Simplify that fraction. When you simplify that fraction, basically the zeros cancel, and this becomes 13 over 6. That would be your correct answer. I also wanted to go through number 13 with you. On one particular map, 2.5 inches represents 55 miles. How many miles would 2.7 inches represent? You are setting up a proportion, and you want inches on the top or on the bottom, but you want inches in the same place and miles in the same place. We want to know how many miles. So you set up a proportion, and then you cross multiply to solve. So you'd have 2.5x equals 148.5. Finish solving that equation. Okay, I think we also need to go over number 15. Determine the numbers of units of solution 2 required to obtain the desired percent acid concentration of the final solution from the data shown below. Now, the problem on the test is going to look exactly like this. So, first we're going to focus on solution 1. solution 1, we have 10%, so that's 0.10 times 25 liters. So we're doing percent times the amount. We're also going to, for solution 2, do the percent times the amount and add those together to equal percent times amount. So it's a whole bunch of percent times amount. If you remember, percent times amount plus percent times amount equals percent times amount, you should be fine. So 10% times the amount of solution 1 plus 30% times the amount of solution 2, that's what we're trying to add, so we don't know the amount, equals 25% of 25 liters plus X liters. So I'm going to color code this a little bit. 10% of our amount plus 30% of the amount that we're adding equals 25% of the total amount. So see how we added the 25 and the X? That's what's in the parentheses over here. And then it's just an equation that you have to solve. And it's kind of annoying that it's decimals, but we can deal with it. So 0.1 times 25, that makes 2.5. This is 0.3x. And then here we would have to distribute. We would get 6.25 plus 0.25x. And now it's just an equation with x's. Yeah, it's decimals, which is annoying, but we can deal with it. I'm going to subtract 0.25x. So that is 0.05x. And then subtract 2.5 on both sides. And then we will divide by 0.05.
Mom, why do you have these baby scissors?
And then we get x equals 75. So the units are liters. We're going to add 75 liters. Don't forget on your final answer to use that label, 75 liters. Let's also go through number 16, and then I think that's the last one I'll go through on this video. You can paint a house in 9 hours. Your little sister can paint the same house in 12 hours. How long will it take the two of you working together to paint the house? Round your answer to 1 decimal place. So if you can paint the house in 9 hours, that means in 1 hour, you are painting 1/9 of the house. So basically it's 1 house per 9 hours. That's your rate. So 1/9 T plus your little sister, it would be 1/12 T, and you want this to add up to 1. So your rate, this is your rate times time plus your sister's rate times time equals 1 complete job. If you do this problem like 3 or 4 times, I would say the same thing for number 15 as well. Do number 15 and number 16 like 2 or 3 times to kind of get them stuck in your head, and then I think you'll be fine on the test tomorrow. When you have this type of equation with the fractions, the best thing to do is to get rid of the fractions. And think about 9 and 12 and think about a number that you could easily divide both 9 and 12 by. You're really looking for the least common multiple. So for 9 and 12, I think it would be 36. But if you don't know how to find that, if you just want to do 12 times 9 and multiply everything by 108, that would be fine too. So your options are to multiply everything by 108, which we got by doing 12 times 9, or multiply everything by 36, because I know that I can do 36 divided by 9 and get a whole number. I can do 36 divided by 12 and get a whole number. So those are your two options, but some of you are going to have trouble finding that 36 number, so let's just do 108. It really doesn't matter which one you do. I'm going to multiply everything by 108. That gives me 108 times 1/9 is the same as 108 divided by 9. That gives me 12t. 108 divided by 12 is 9, so 9t equals 108. And then you can combine the 12 and the 9, so you have 21t equals 108. 108 divided by 21. Your time is 5.142857. It keeps going. They want us to round our answer to 1 decimal place, so this would round to 5.1 hours. Okay, so remember it's your rate, which is 1 house per 9 hours, times the amount of time, plus your sister's rate, which is 1 house, can't write today, per 12 hours, and then that's going to equal 1 full job. Again, I would go back through and do 15 and 16 again on your own a couple more times just to get those kind of stuck in your brain so that you're ready for those. If you have any questions about any others, feel free to email me with which problems you have questions about. I can always record a quick video and send the link back to you. And I will be here for Wildcat Hour Shift A. Come in during Wildcat Hour Shift A. I would love to help you then.